What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for sticking with me. We're gonna have a little bit of fun here on TNT post game, and we're gonna get ready to get started as we react to the Tennessee Titans defeating the Buffalo Bills 34-31 in one epic thriller on Monday night. Show gets started in 30 seconds. Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody? Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome into TNT post game. I'm your man Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we're gonna have a great show for you tonight as the Tennessee Titans get it done and take care of business, defeating the Buffalo Bills 34-31, and they move on to 4-2 on the year. My God, what a game. I mean, let me tell y'all, I was there, and this game was electric. We're going to talk all about it. We are going to have loads of fun. But before we do get started, there is a couple of things I need y'all to do for me tonight. As I can tell, I'm having a little lighting issue, but we're going to be all right nevertheless. First thing to do is please make sure y'all share this show out. Make sure y'all share the show, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on YouTube. Hit that share button. And also smash that like button as well. Help me out. We're going to talk a little bit about this game. Of course, we got tomorrow's show where we'll, dive just a little bit more into that as well. So make sure y'all share the show out. And also, if you don't have your Titans of Truth swag, make sure y'all definitely check it with my girl, Miss Latoya, at queenbutterflytees.com or on Instagram at queenbutterflytees. If you want some hats, like the one that I have on, get with Out the Crib Customs. That's out_the_cribs_customs on Instagram or at outthecribcustoms.com. All else fails, you can contact me as well. So you can definitely get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to get you information and get stuff to you on getting the hats and the shirts. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into this game. I tell you, because work with me on this. I'm just trying to get my lighting together. I'm not sure why my lighting is not as great as always. Just trying to straighten that out a little bit. So thank y'all for sticking with me on that. But man, this game was awesome. Clowney says, do you think everything's good with Ken? My Titan games aren't the same without K-Board Sports pre and post game. I'm not sure why Ken didn't go live. He usually does do the day after, maybe around 8 o'clock. So he may be doing a show later on tonight and everything. But from all intents and purposes, Ken is just fine. We were all texting. Earlier today and yesterday. So I think everything is good. Reggie B. What's up with you, man? I wonder how's everything going down there in H-Town. What's going on? Make sure y'all do hit that like button. We got my guy Preston from the Titans fan club of Memphis, and I will not be at the game in Kansas City. I may be at the headquarters doing my usual live stream, so we're definitely going to check that out. Titans Torch, what's up? And we got Mr. Order Struck Al Pierce is here as well. Big win next. The Chiefs must lose. Go kick that Kansas City tail. I agree. Reggie Smith saying, what a game. That's true. Out the crib. Here's the guy you need to hit up if y'all want a hat just like this one or just like the navy blue hat that I wore last night. Y'all saw my little snippet on Facebook. Reggie said, Indigo was on fire. Man, I missed y'all. I really did. Leela says, Titans are a threat behind the AFC, in the AFC behind the Dirty Bird. We're in third place. Frazier, great win. Jay Porter said, tighten up. Titan blue. Indigo is lit. Man, I hate I wasn't there. And Out the Cribs is telling you, got a red and the blue. Like I said, if y'all saw on my Facebook, y'all have seen me. I think y'all see me a couple times with the blue on. That too is available. So y'all hit my guy up if y'all want one. And that's right, we'll be a 3 seed. Facebook, let's go tighten up. I know everybody's ready. Yeah, we are at home against Kansas City. I know. That's right. Out the Crib said, look like we're going to be battling injuries all year. That much is true. And we're going to have to talk about injuries a little bit. And I see everybody's up in here. But let's get into this game, man, because it was exciting. Let me tell you, the field was electric. And I mean that in all senses of the words. It was absolutely incredible. It was awesome. I have never had so much fun at a Titans game like I did last night. And let's see, I'm just checking something. But I'll be all right. I'm going to fix my lighting up. But man, it was fun. I mean, my God, it was fun. And I don't think I've ever had more fun at a Titans game than I did last night. It was, there we go. There we go. Feels a little bit brighter now. But yes, this game was incredible. I had so much fun. It was a packed house, 69,000. I want to say 69,300. I want to say 69,000, maybe 300 some thousand. Yes, there were a lot more Bills fans than I would have liked. But hey, it was exciting. I had way too much fun, and it was loud. It was incredible. Titan fans brought it. The Bills fans tried to bring it, but so did we. We brought it too. And I see some of y'all are saying we signed a corner off the practice squad of Arizona, I believe. Y'all said it was Greg Maben. I guess a guy that we're familiar with because, Greg Maben was on this roster before. And, I think the Titans really do need to take a look. The Tennessee Titans really do need to take a look outside at corner because we lost a lot of people last night, y'all. We did. But D09's right. O-line showed up. Tannehill wasn't sacked at all. It was indeed a great win. We got Boston in the house. Beantown. What's going on? It was definitely a packed stadium. I heard the noise. Man, it was incredible. It was incredible. Ryan, what's up? Phillips said that fourth down stop had me screaming like Kevin Garnett, anything's possible. I was screaming all the way through. Greg Maben back on the roster. Yeah, not great, but he does have some familiarity. I guess that was good. So, I mean, there were way too many. But we showed up too. We showed up too. And I think Joe Rexrode of The Athletic was like, it was only 25% Bill fans. I venture to say there were probably about maybe 40%. There were a lot more Bills fans than I would have liked. But we held out in numbers, and it was nice to send them home crying. It was a beautiful thing to see. And I mean, C-Dub, you're right. A lot of people are still doubting Derrick Henry can carry us to a Super Bowl. But we always hear it every year, hey, in December, in January, you better have a running game because it gets cold. You're damn right you better have a running game because it gets cold. You're right. Quinn says, I can only imagine the atmosphere there. I was hyped as hell at the crib. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Lee, thank you for giving me the exact number. But it was great. I mean, and Reggie, that was impressive. What was the most impressive thing last night? The atmosphere, O-line giving up no sacks, the fourth down stop. I mean, there was so much that could have went down. Bills Mafia didn't take over. That's true. So, Tannehill give me a headache this year. I mean, Tannehill did all right. First half, it didn't look great, but they woke up in the second half. So let's really talk about this game in particular. Here are the stats. Titans get the win 34-31. Tannehill only went 18 of 26, 216 yards. He did throw that interception early, but he got cooking late with A.J. Brown, who had 7 catches, 91 yards. And then even though Julio had 3 for 59, he probably had the catch of the year. I mean, that he already caught the pass interference, and then the ball goes up in the air off the Bills player helmet, and Julio was like, he could have just let the ball go out of bounds, but what does he do? He goes to get it, and he went, and it made it a 48-yard completion, and that was just incredible on that. The King doing kingly things. 20 carries, 143 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just looks like the freight train with a Ferrari engine. He cannot and shall not be stopped. C-Dub says, Henry did this against a top defensive unit in the NFL. This was, and let me pull up let me see if I can remember y'all. These were the stats that I put up before. The Buffalo Bills were the number 1 defense in the league. Number 1 in points allowed. Only giving up about 13 points a game. They gave up 34. Number 1 in yards per game. I'm going to show you in a minute. They gave up more than that. They're number 3 against the run. Derrick Henry pretty much surpassed that, pretty much got to that mark on 1 play. And they did not sack the quarterback at all. Titans defense showed up with 3 sacks. Landry had 2. Simmons had the other 1. Now, yes, Josh Allen threw for 353 yards. He had a very nice game, but he had to earn every bit of those yards. He had to earn it. We bit, but we didn't break. Mr. Weezer says, I don't think this will last. I know Mr. Weezer is kind of a troll, kind of a downer sometimes. Similar to old Tyreekis, although I got Mr. Weezer, Tyreekis, I got love for y'all, but y'all gotta be a little bit more happy. Y'all gotta be a little bit more happy. We gonna do whatever we gotta do to make this last as long as we possibly can. And we're gonna have some fun. And yes, y'all knew on ESPN and on First Things First and all them other shows that they were going to basically talk about not the fact that the Titans won, but they were going to talk more about how the Bills lost. Y'all knew that was what they were going to do and everything. So it was awesome. And Jay, I believe it. Even if he didn't slip, I don't think he got that first down. And so let's go into that. Highlights of the game here on TNT POSTGAME. And I mean, the fact is, again, first off, the crowd was electric. I had probably the most fun I've had at a Titans game, probably since the Kansas City Thriller with the block kick and the Eagles with Corey Davis catching that game-winning touchdown against the Eagles. That was fun. Sending those Eagles fans home, crying and everything. But the atmosphere was great. Derrick Henry doing Derrick Henry things. A.J. Brown looking like he was coming back to form. And think about this. A.J. Brown had 7 catches, 91 yards, all in the second half. In the second half alone, which was beautiful. The offensive line held up. Tannehill, yeah, he got hit a couple of times, but he was not sacked at all. Nick Westbrook-Akina had a couple of timely catches when called upon. Jeff Swain had a nice first down catch, which I am shocked to say that. Defense. And I know everybody's like, like excuse my language, like dumbass Keyshawn, talking about you don't have a good defense. Okay, we probably don't. But despite everything that went wrong, Big Jeff had a great game. Had some was effective in the running game. Got a sack on Josh Allen at a crucial point. Harold Landry playing out of his mind. And Harold Landry very slowly should get some consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. He needs to get some small consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. Because I'm looking something up. Harold Landry has already surpassed what he did last year. He has 6.5 sacks already. The next closest guy is Ola Adeni and Jeff Simmons with 2.5 apiece. Autry has 1.5. And we're doing all of this without Bud Dupree being 100%. And I think he will get close to 100% more as the year goes on. David Long is proving why he is a starter, and at some point, Rashaan Evans will become obsolete. Kevin Byard, and dare I say, y'all, the mayor of Murfreesboro is back. The mayor of Murfreesboro is back. Had his second pick of the year and looked good doing it. That was some of the great things. Hooker, it was nice to have him back in the lineup. So there's a lot of good that goes around. But where there's good, there was also a lot of quite a bit of bad that could be worked on as well. By God, we got decimated by the injury bug last night. Decimated. We lose not one, not two, but three, well, really four guys last night. We lose two guys to torn ACLs for the year. In rookie Caleb Farley and in wide receiver Cam Batson. Both have been confirmed torn ACLs. Their seasons are over. And it's just unfortunate for Caleb Farley. He gets his first career start last night. And in all intents and purposes, didn't look too bad. I mean, yeah, there were times it looked like he may have been, a little fish out of water trying to find his position and everything. But, I mean, it was his first start. And I don't think he did terrible. He'll get better and get stronger. Probably watch film and stuff like that once, as he now has to begin, probably get surgery. And it was on the other leg. I believe it was the right knee, because I believe he tore his left knee. No, I take that back. He had a torn ACL on his right knee in college. This was his left knee now. And he's going to have to recover for that. Cam Batson, who was doing return duty until Darrington Evans got back. Now he's out. And I know that broke Vrabel's heart because he doesn't just like Cam Batson. He loves Cam Batson. Harold Landry doing his thing. Third in the league in sacks. Beautiful. Chris Jackson. Seemed like he had some type of ankle injury. Got nicked up a little bit early, came out, went back in. Had his ups and downs. It wasn't terrible, but wasn't all the way great at times. Then he goes out again. Not sure exactly what's going on with him. We'll probably find out more. But probably the most scary thing, besides Caleb Farley and Cam Batson, was Taylor Lewan. I think he got, Henry kind of ran into the back of him. And I think he was trying to kind of, add an extra oomph on a block and fell down and hit hard. And it looked like for a while he was not moving. And they had to bring the cart out. They had to bring the board out to try to kind of stabilize him. They took off his face mask. And I think we were all terrified, like, oh, my God, this is not good. I'm like, we got to see something. We got to see, something good come out of this. The fans were chanting Taylor, Taylor, Taylor. And right before the cart kind of got into the tunnel, he gave a thumbs up. And that was probably one of the best things we saw last night. He gave that thumbs up. And then around halftime, he was kind of up. He was conscious and things like that. He talked to Vrabel and, was kind of walking around the locker room. It seemed like, he had full use of bodily function. So it seemed like, looks like Taylor is going to be okay. And that was a great sign. Now, he is in concussion protocol. And he's going to have to pass concussion protocol in order to play. And I mean, we got a game in less than 6 days. So it's going to be kind of hard to see if he's going to be able to go. But we'll definitely have to see about that. But, man, that was a scary thing to see. But just glad that Taylor Lewan was okay. Let's see. I'm going to go through some of y'all comments right quick. Man, but this was, I mean, Titan Overdrive. Hell of a game. It was. JT says, can I have Calhoun, Chris Jones, and Greg Maben on the field guarding Tyreek or Kelsey? I agree. They're going to have to do something a little bit more than that. Reggie said, Fat Randy made his kicks. Yes, he did. Titan Overdrive. What are we going to do at corner? I don't know. They're going to have to figure something out because, I mean, you got Janoris. You got Janoris, not Jackrabbit Jenkins. You got Breon Borders and Elijah Molden. That's all the corners you got right now. It's all the corners you got. Dane Crookshank's more of a safety than a corner. We're very thin. J-Rob's going to have to make a move at some point. And TD tweeted and said, if it was him, he would take a look at Cam Dantzler, who was a third-round draft pick out of Mississippi State, who is currently buried on the Minnesota Vikings depth chart. He's about 6'2", 6'3". I liked him coming out of Mississippi State. Maybe a change of scenery would be good for him. I hear rumors that Kyle Fuller could be traded, cornerback with the Denver Broncos. I wouldn't mind trading for him. But right now, we got to go get a corner, maybe two, that can actually start. Because, yeah, you got to guard Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, DeMarcus Robertson. And you got to be able to defend against Patrick Mahomes in 6 days' time. Greg Maben, Brian Body Calhoun, and Chris Jones are not going to be able to do that. So we got work to do. First 100-yard game against Buffalo in the last 4 weeks. Yeah. I mean, he's only averaged, the most yards he's had against Buffalo was like 55 yards against Buffalo. He got past all of that in one play. It is a celebration, Miss Mims. It is. Saw a little bit of your video. Shout out to Miss Mims, by the way. I love her to death. CW says, feels so bad for Farley. Wanted to see him turn into a real corner, but I think J-Rob going to have to address corner and tight end spots. I agree, because we are getting absolutely nothing from the tight end position. I mean, I did like, somebody mentioned the shovel pass to Ferkser. That was great awareness by Tannehill, and that was on a third down. And Derrick Henry did do it on 20 carries. That was incredible. But man, wow. Yeah, I hope Batson and Farley get lifted up, because I know he's been dealing with injuries. They almost allow more yards on the ground than they allow through the air. Yeah. Well, we didn't lose that sack. I think Harold Landry had a sack, and they said after the play was that hit to the helmet by David Long. So I think that sack did count for Harold Landry. Preston says, defense stood up when it counted the most throughout the whole game. Proud of my boys, and O-line didn't let Tannehill get sacked. Yes, and that's a great point, because the Titans bit, but they didn't break. And how is that? Because at the end, even when the Bills drove, they ended up selling for field goals, not touchdowns. And that really kept us in great situations. After y'all heard Chris Broussard say we lost because Buffalo lost Taylor Lewan. I'm going to save that for tomorrow night. I got that. And Derrick Henry, should he be in the MVP conversation? I think we're going to save that for tomorrow night. So I'm teasing that a little bit. So get your thoughts about that. We're definitely going to talk about Broussard tomorrow night for, I think I'm going to do a special Shut Your Pie Hole. Even though I know that we're not at the end of the month yet. But I think this is warranted for that. And that is something we're going to talk about tomorrow night's show. Derrick Henry and the MVP conversation. Mr. Reeves, I know you're not a troll. I'm playing with you. I'm having fun. I'm having fun with you. And yes, we know, all of us know that the Titans are very consistent at being inconsistent. That much, I don't think any of us would say is not true. The Titans are very consistent at being inconsistent. Mr. Weezer, I love you, man. I gotta have some fun with you. That's all. So I'm not gonna be able to be at the Kansas City game, unfortunately, but y'all know how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be ready to go. An AJ flu game. And Derrick Henry so messed with him. Said one thing we had to make sure of is we had a lot of toilet paper. Because excuse me. Because it sounded like AJ went to Chipotle for some Mexican, and that kind of didn't go too well. And Tyler, we're going to talk about that tomorrow night on tomorrow night's show about the MVP conversation. Pass blocking was not as bad as people make it seem. Yes, did Tannehill get hit a couple of times? Yes, but he did not get sacked. He was not sacked. Pass blocking was a lot better tonight than it was in recent weeks. And the Titans did do very well. Tight overdrive. Tight Landry needs a new contract. I agree with that. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid. I love this from Philomatic. He said, nothing wrong with the camera. We got a glow like brutally. You have to feel that glow. You know you got that glow. Yes, he is the master. Yes. Who's the master? Tighten up. Yes, I love it. I love it. Getting ready for them Chiefs. Yes, we are. David Long, is becoming a star. Let's see, we got the doctor. Yes, it was a pleasure to meet you last night. Definitely a pleasure. Thank you for your support, Doc. I appreciate you on that. It was great to meet you and my boy Kent. Kent Woods, shout out to Kent Woods. I appreciate you. You know, Danico has been awesome. Reggie B said, what's up with Breon Borders? He wasn't playing like he was last year. Not sure what's up with Breon. Definitely could have played a lot better. Could have played a lot better. And Reggie Smith coming in. Breon didn't play all that great, but man, he almost had a game-changing interception. If it wasn't for Janoris pretty much knocking it away from him. I'm like, dang. But that was awesome by Breon. To go up, he high points the ball and nearly finished it all the way off. He was about 3/4 of the way down with the football, and Janoris was trying to go up for it too. I'm like, let Breon have his day. The biohazard. What about Fulton? Well, Fulton was placed on IR right before the game. So he missed this game. He's going to miss the Chiefs game. He's probably going to miss the Colts game. He may be back for the Rams game on Sunday night. CW said, look like Vrabel wanted to cry about Batson. Yeah. He loves Cam Batson. Yeah, I was glad to see that too with Taylor Warren throwing his thumbs up. Yeah, he loves Cam Batson. Is trash talking not accepted anymore? Of course. I love to trash talk with other teams' fans. I do. Like I said, all last night, after that 4th down stop, I turned to some Bills fans. I said, good game, y'all. Bills fans, Thank y'all for coming. Thank you for your participation, but your services are no longer required. I sure did. And, I know a lot of fans hated on him and Taylor Lewan and stuff. I just think because we know how great Taylor Lewan can be. He's an all-pro. He's a Pro Bowl tackle. And it did look like he was kind of starting to find himself. And Lee, I was worried about Kendall Lamb, which I think it might be getting close to Dylan Radun's time. 242 underscore Tyson said they need to play zone on defense. Bend but don't break. But I mean, zone, we kind of got picked apart. Reggie B, I do not think Avery Williamson played much last night. He suited up, but I don't think he played much. Brady Breeze is a safety, not a corner, I'm afraid, Lee. Power Hour, what's up with you? My dear friend Crystal, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think, oh goodness, hold up. I forgot something. Got a super chat. Got a super chat from Shane. And I always appreciate any and all super chats and everything. So I appreciate that. Shane says, you're killing it. Happy to see the growth. King Henry is on another level. What's crazy is that he doesn't get tackled. He just falls forward. I agree. And Rich Eisen showed the graphic of the last 5 games. 100, 100. He was like 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Had 3 touchdowns in back-to-back games. He only joins Jim Brown. Terrell Davis, Eric Dickerson. Only players to have like right at 800 yards and 8 or 10 touchdowns in their first 6 games. All those 3 guys are in the Hall of Fame. And Rich Eisen likes to call Derrick Henry the diminisher because he diminishes anything that the other side could do. And we always all talked about how, and I love that we have almost 50 people in here already. Let's keep that going. But man, I appreciate the super chat, Shane. I really do. Thank you for that. But here's the thing. We always talked about how Derrick Henry is getting warm. He starts off slow. And thank you, Chris. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Ms. Smith said, Titans win. Also number 1 in the AFC South. Yep, we got a 2.5 game lead. Henry is the king. Adam Rank predicted a win. Yeah, Adam Stank did. Made him look good for one time. And that's the thing. Derrick Henry used to always start off slow. Maybe like, he had some game where he had like a 100-yard game here and there. There might be a game where he had like 60, he had 80, he had 100, then he had 70, and then he ramps up and has like 200, 150, 115, 185, and just gets rolling as the year went on. But guys, Derrick Henry is starting off hot. I don't think that bodes well for other teams around the league. And we got Kansas City, who has arguably the worst defense in the league. Derrick Henry might run amok on them too. Well, right now, I think Dylan Radunz is going to get more of a look this week. Honestly, he should be next man up instead of Kendall Lamb. I just think in a pinch, they had to go with Lamb, unfortunately. But I think Dylan Radunz could be coming up. We got to get some players healthy before next month, before we play. But again, Shane, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Yeah, I agree. I think Avery Williamson will definitely get some snaps next week. I think so. He just got brought back to the team. But I think next week he probably will get some snaps. Tennessee Titans Weekly. What's up with y'all fellas? And shout out to Tennessee Titans Weekly. Shout out to Titan Upload. They had some great shows last night. And the chop up was cool. Hate I didn't get a chance to run into Jacques and Hawk. I know they were there at the game and everything. And our resident wonderful nurse, Miss Keisha. What a game. Still hype we pulled that off. It was incredible. It was incredible. Tremaine, yes, you did make it. Power Hour says Cam Dantzler might be worth making an offer to Minnesota. The right deal might make them think about it. I agree. I would take a look at that. For a 7th that could turn into a 6th or a 6th, I would take a flyer on Cam Dantzler because he's young. He hasn't really gotten an opportunity, and I think he deserves at least a shot. I liked Cam Dantzler coming out of Mississippi State. I thought he was an aggressive corner. He's long. He's quick. I think he would, he couldn't do no worse. A lot of people say it's too big of a workload. Derrick Henry will be just fine. And that's the thing. Do you hear Derrick Henry complaining about this? I mean, we know Derrick Henry is the ultimate team player. He probably will never say it. Derrick Henry doesn't seem to mind if the ball is given to him a bunch. So I don't think he minds at all. If he gets back-to-back 2K nasty, want to extend them. If Derrick Henry gets back-to-back 2,000 yards or breaks the record, forget just MVP. Get him fitted for a gold jacket. And as Tennessee Titans Weekly would say, facts, no paper. I told y'all last night I was going to bring that fire. I'll go bring that fire. I'm going to bring it. And tonight we got to do that. T-Town Brown said, hoping KC don't land Whitney Merciless. Yes, I did see Whitney Merciless did get released by the Texans. Wouldn't shock me if Vrabel tried to bring him in, to have another linebacker to kind of add more depth. It would not shock me. I don't know if they'll do it, but it wouldn't shock me at all. He loved bringing in former Texans. My brother, Blue 5, question. Do you think J-Rob missed by not drafting Trey Smith? I know everybody wants to ask about Trey Smith. Now, he got drafted in the 6th round. How do we know that Trey Smith was going to turn into what he's turned into? Nobody knows. At that point, it's a crapshoot. Yeah, they probably could have took a look at him, but we didn't need a guard. We needed a tackle. And I think Trey Smith could have played some tackle, but he's probably more fit to play a guard. But, probably could have took a look at him. But, again, we can't cry over that now. Brett Kerr might be coming back. And y'all talk about trading Josh Reynolds with Batson out. We're going to have no choice but to play Josh Reynolds. But he was a healthy scratch, which I think means he's going to have to be up for this particular game. Julio does need to become more of a factor, Rashid. I agree, and I think they held him out for precautions because it looked like he got nicked up with the hamstring again. Even though he wanted to go back in, they were like, nah, we're going to hold you out and finish this game without you. Better move out the way. Yeah, you better get off the tracks when the train coming through. Reynolds, I think he'll play more this week. He's going to have to. Rob said, do you think Titan defense is better this year? They're about the same. I think the pass rush, the defensive line and the pass rush is definitely a lot better. I think the pass rush is way better than last year. I'll definitely say that. Pass rush is much better. Byard, I think, is playing better. David Long is becoming a legit starter. So I think there are some aspects that are better. As a whole, I don't think we're there yet, but I think we're coming. He said we need to be on the phone for a corner. I agree. Merciless is a great football name. Would be a good piece. I wouldn't mind if you had Landry Dupree and Merciless together. I wouldn't mind that at all. And if you can't re-sign Harold Landry, Whitney Merciless wouldn't be a bad backup to go along with Bud Dupree. Injuries to the secondary, I think, does hurt. But I think, yeah, front seven is better. Breon Borders, I think, left a bit to be desired. I think Borders is a little bit better than what he showed last night. I like Borders, and I think everybody picks on him for what happened in that Cleveland game last year. But in spot duty, Breon Borders did very well. I'm not going to use last night and say Borders sucks. No, I'm not going to do that. I think Borders is all right. So, you know, JT says, David August, who we thought Rashaan Evans was going to be. Right. Rob said, do you think King Henry will go 2K again in 16 games? Let me tell you, Derrick Henry is on pace right now in 17 games to not just break the record, but shatter it. He's averaging 130 yards a game. If he keeps this pace, he is on pace for 2,219 yards. That is 114 yards more than the record. He could possibly break the record in 16. He could definitely break the record in 16. Tell you the truth, keep up the good podcasting. Rasheed, thank you so much for the super chat, my brother. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. JT says, Garyon Conley still available, a young former first-round pick. I mean, I don't know what he's been doing. I know he's had some trouble off the field. So he's got to have himself together off the field before we could bring him in on the field. And yeah, he did keep battling through that. But I think a lot of people think that was Breon Borders' fault. I just think there was also a lot of Stephon Diggs kind of baiting him in, and he saw that Borders kind of was slipping, and so he kind of used that to his advantage with that. So I think Stephon Diggs kind of used that to his advantage too. So again, Rasheed, thank you for the super chat, my brother. CW said Conley's a former Texan, and Braves call him as we speak. Probably is. Bowen better have a game plan for real. You got that right. Better not have Bolden on Tyreek. Yeah, this ain't a game for Elijah Bolden to be on Tyreek. I think we are lacking some players. I think the play call got better. Once Henry broke the dam on the Bills defense, it did open up a lot of things. And you saw AJ getting open in the middle of the field and things like that. We attacked the middle of the field very well. I think slowly Todd Downing is figuring it out. I think Downing is starting to figure it out, how to use his offense, you know? And so, yeah, it started off slow early, but I think once Derrick Henry kind of got going, the rest of the offense got going with him. Right now, Titans' weaknesses are injuries right now. Coach Staff did a great job calling big plays on both sides. I mean, hey, players stepped up. Players stepped up indeed, without a doubt. And it was just a amazing, amazing football game. I had just way too much fun. So much fun. It was awesome. Got a $10 super chat. Papa Chulo. What's up, man? What's Gucci? How about them tight, man? How about them, baby? Tighten up, baby. Yes, that is great. So thank you for the super chat, Papa Chulo. Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. My voice is halfway gone. I don't care. Be Bevalent. Bevalent 23 with 2,200 yards be enough to win MVP. I think if he breaks 2,000 again, he's got to get it. He's got to get it. I don't think they have no choice but to hand it to him. And that's something. Y'all give me a moment. I'm going to try to see list of MVPs. I'm going to go back and look at MVPs from the last, like, I'll say 10 years. Now, MVP has always been given to the quarterback. And you're looking at this 2020 quarterback, 2019 quarterback, 2018 quarterback, 2017 quarterback, 2016 quarterback, 2015, 2014, 2013, all quarterbacks. You got to go all the way back to 2012. That was the last time a non quarterback won MVP. Damn near 10 years. Last non quarterback to be MVP, Adrian Peterson in 2012. And really, since 2000, you had Marshall Faulk in 2000, Sean Alexander in 2005, LaDainian Tomlinson in 06. And that was the last time, 2005, 2006, last time that running backs, that a non-quarterback was back-to-back MVP. And then it was 2012. So 2000, you had 1, 2, 3, 4. In the last 20 years, only 4 non-quarterbacks have ever won MVP. Ever since, it's been nothing but quarterbacks. They give it to nobody but quarterbacks. Because I guess if you take the quarterback off the field, the backup is not very good. Weaknesses are quarterbacks and tight ends. I agree. Injury-wise, cornerback not being used, tight end. Titans Rossi, what's up? But again, Papa Chulo, thank you for the super chat, my brother. We got over 50 people in here. This is great. This is exciting. Keep it going. Love the interaction in here. It's been amazing. Derrick Henry in 5 or 6 games, 145 carries, 715 yards, 10 TDs. Incredible. Derrick Henry does make every OC look good. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Makes a lot of guys look good. Big Jeff is turning into one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Titans did run a lot of zone. I did see that. LT was the last running back in 08. No, Adrian Peterson in 12 after he came back from that ACL. He was the last one to win MVP as a non-quarterback. And if you go back even further than that, go back even further, a wide receiver has never won the award, at least in a long time. 1986 was the last time a defensive player was MVP. And that was, of course, LT Lawrence Taylor. I'm going back in history. You had some defensive guy, like a defensive tackle, won MVP in the 70s. Do y'all know, to this day, a wide receiver has never won MVP? You've had a couple of defensive players win it, but that was back in the 80s and 70s. Ever since then, it's pretty much been a quarterback award. Pretty much. only 4 running backs have won MVP since 2000. Well, I'm still excited for the win. I agree. Harold Landry currently tied for 3rd in sacks. I think Bud Dupree should be eating. I think he's going to get there. See, I would not change the kicker. I would stick with Randy Bullock as long as possible. I agree. You stick with Bullock. Kendall Lamb, I don't know how we didn't give up a sack. Do we release Bullock once Sam Ficken is felt? I think we're going to stick with both. Right now, we never had Sam Ficken designated to return. So until then, they're probably going to keep him on IR until they see otherwise. They need to rename it the quarterback award. Until they do it, yeah, I agree. I think he did outcoach him a little bit at the end. I really think Sean McDermott and Josh Allen outsmarted themselves a little bit at the end. Now, I don't know if David Njoku will be available, but might not be a bad idea. The king better win. That much is true. I mean, Tyrod said I was jumping up and down like a lunatic. Hey, I was going crazy after that stop. Now, we're going to see who some sellers are within the next few weeks because I believe November 2nd is the trade deadline. And I think the Titans should be in the mix for one of these corners. Xavier Howard could be a little bit more expensive. Xavier Howard could be a little bit more expensive. Marshawn Lattimore, I believe, got a big contract. And I know he dealt with some trouble. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore, I sure wouldn't mind. It wouldn't hurt. Denzel Ward, I think, is young and still has a lot to prove. Kyle Fuller's another. So I think the Titans should be in the market for a corner in a trade. And maybe make Janoris expendable. So I definitely like that. I did see that. Zach said he woke up the whole neighborhood. Oh, man, I know. I was going crazy, too. Is Taylor Lewan overrated? I think Taylor Lewan was getting better. Was definitely getting better. And you're right. Greatest wide receiver of all time, Jerry Rice, never won MVP. No wide receiver has ever won MVP. Not Jerry Rice, not T.O., not Randy Moss, not Chris Carter. None of those guys have ever won MVP. Not Art Monk, Steve Sargent, Steve Largent. None of those guys have ever won MVP. And I'm shocked by that too. So, I mean, do you think we would have lost if they got that 4th down stop at the end? If they didn't stop him on that 4th down, I think they would have kicked the field goal and it probably would have went to overtime. So I think it would have went to overtime. And some of these teams are going to want a lot, especially for an Xavier Howard or a Marshawn Lattimore. And you're right, we don't have a 2nd-round pick. But you look at Gilmore. Gilmore got traded. Let me go back. Stephon Gilmore got traded for practically nothing. And a lot of people are going to use that as a template. I mean, Gilmore got traded for a 2023 sixth-round pick. Carolina doesn't even lose a pick in next year's draft. In 2022, they traded a 2023 sixth-round pick for Stephon Gilmore, who was one of the best corners in the league. If that's the case, a lot of teams have already lost ground on trading a corner for anything higher than that. I'm like, I'll trade a 2023 sixth rounder or fifth rounder for a guy like Marshawn Lattimore. I would not even think of trading him in my 2022 draft picks. Maybe, I would say for Cam Dantzler, I would trade a 2023 seventh rounder or sixth rounder for him. For Marshawn Lattimore, I might give up a 2023, maybe third rounder, but I wouldn't give up 2022 because I would use the Stephon Gilmore. Yeah, basically, Gilmore got traded for a bag of Doritos. Now, yes, Gilmore was on IR, but you also got to remember, he was labeled as one of the best corners in the league. And true, Carolina picked up his contract. So, are you nervous about the Colts winning the division? No. Because I like what Jared Stillman said. Indianapolis got a win last night and thought they might get back in the race. Us beating Buffalo was a gut punch to them. Because now they're still 2.5 games behind us. And they still got to play the Bills later this season. They still got to play the Bills later on this year. And up next for the Colts got to play the 49ers before they play us on Sunday night. They play in San Francisco. Then they got to play us, and then they got a couple of cupcakes before the Bills game. So they got a couple of tough ones, and they still got to play the Cardinals and the Raiders later too. So the Colts, I'm not worried about. AJ was starting to heat up. I agree. Excuse me. So some of those teams are going to want quite a bit, but we'll definitely have to see. I think we have to be players at the trade deadline, especially for corner and possibly for tight end, maybe even for tackle, because I also saw maybe Andre Dillard, the tackle for the Eagles, could be on the block as well. So that's something we got to think about. But, y'all, I'm going to get ready to get out of here tomorrow night. Remember to tune in. Get your nominees for the Two-Tone Blue Star of the Week and the Dunce of the Day. Also, start putting together your PMB questions for Pick My Brain. And again, we're going to talk about the Shut Your Pie Hole with Chris Broussard, because we're definitely going to talk about that. And I got another special Shut Your Pie Hole as well. There's somebody else that really does deserve and needs to shut their pie hole up. And we'll talk about that tomorrow on tomorrow night's show. So again, tomorrow night, about 6:30, we're going to get ready to rock and roll again on Titans and Truth. Thank y'all again for tuning in. I appreciate all of y'all being with me tonight. We had some great interaction tonight. Make sure, again, y'all share the show and everything. If you still want your TNT swag, just like I got on, again, hit up Miss Latoya, Queen Butterfly Tees on Instagram or in her email at queenbutterflytees@gmail.com. You can also hit her up on Facebook for hats, Out the Crib Customs, at out_the_crib_customs on Instagram or outthecribcustoms.com. Or you can hit me up anywhere. Y'all know me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or my email, CANEWELL817 at gmail.com. Make sure y'all hit me up. And again, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to the show. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And yeah, Colts still have to play the Bucks as well. So thank y'all for tuning in. I will holler at y'all. I'm out of here. Thank y'all again. I'm on my way to 2,000. So help me get there. Thank y'all. And y'all tighten up because that's all we know how to do.